This video was actually shown to me in the algorithm. It wasn't sent to me like normally, but I do check out what you guys send me. But yeah, I peeped this video, on my timeline, and it's about Jelly Roll. Oh, my bad, Smelly Roll, and his fakeness and all this other fraud behavior. Let's see what's going down. I think it's from a YouTuber named Tennessee Brando. Let's see what's happening. I want to start doing some more reactions to people's opinion on Jelly Roll too. Let's see what's going down, man.
So there's a
Don't forget to hit the hype button. Also, subscribe if you haven't.
video out there circling around of Jelly Roll, and he's sitting around talking, not realizing that he's being recorded. And he said a lot of things that had a lot of people scratching their head.
Guys, join my Discord. Join my Discord. There's a lot of dope stuff in there, and you get notifications. Join Discord if you can. And you get to talk to the Fang Gang. Oh, y'all rock with him? That's what's up.
Before I sat down to make this video, I made it a point to go try to find the full clip so I could hear the entire context of what he was saying. And if I'm being brutally honest with you, 85 or 90% of it was just pure gibberish. I really couldn't understand what the conversation was even all about. It sounded like a bunch of kids in a treehouse to me. But there was some lines that jumped out at people, one of which hilarious. A lot of people thought he was.
I think when the clip originally came out, I cleaned the audio, right, using some software that I have so you can hear it clear and everything. So I heard every word. I heard it all.
Saying that he was pretty much like Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell. Actually, he was quoting someone else, what someone else had said about him. That's not the part that jumped off the page at me as much as what.
Yeah, I think he was quoting the Nicole opera, but it's the way that he said it that had people like, huh? It sound like you were enthusiastic about it. Sound like you claiming the name. But yeah, I think he was quoting Nicole.
He said, and I did listen to the entire context around it, where he talked about how that he was going to infiltrate country music. And he said, we're going to infiltrate country music. I'm here to fuck country music. Now, I'm somebody that grew up on country music and love it dearly. But over the years, I've came to have a relationship with country music where it's a love-hate kind of thing. And it's pretty much been that way ever since 9/11. So when someone says, I'm going to infiltrate and I'm going to fuck country music, my antenna goes up and I want to hear more and I want to understand.
Yeah, admitting that he's wearing a costume. He's not the only one. There's a lot of people that do that. And it's not just country music. It's the whole plethora of styles. Hip-hop, right? R&B, pop, whatever. There's a lot of people that will put on a costume and pretend to be this because it takes their career, I guess, to higher heights. They not political, but then they gonna talk about Trump every damn song now. And they gonna say a whole bunch of conservative stuff so they could get pushed into a slot and then projected. A lot of people are doing that with Christian, music, acting like they're Christian, even though they don't stand for none of the principles. And then do Christian music and try to be successful. Country music is definitely getting that. I've said this for a long ass time, bro. For a long ass time. And I'm not like no country expert. I was rocking with the Dixie Chicks. I liked them. I was more of a Dolly Parton fan myself. I still say that I like her version of I Will Always Love You better than Whitney Houston. But anyway, I digress. That's just my personal opinion. Me and my friends used to bump that version. But I've noticed through the years that there are people that will pretend to be in the country lane so they can boost their careers and try to mess it up and take things up. It's a lot of fakes. Jelly Roll's one of them. I've said this for a long time and got hate. For years, I've been on here saying, Jelly Roll's fake. I remember when he first came out and he had the braids trying to rap. I remember that. He was trying to be Iverson. There was none of this, the Christian country stuff that he's doing, none of that. But yeah, a lot of people said I was crazy.
And more about where this person come from.
Now we can get people to notice this damn Jam Wayne guy and the character he putting on.
Well, if you start digging back into Jelly Roll's life and where he came from, yeah, he's been in jail and yeah, he's, been a criminal in the past. And yeah, now he's, lost all this weight and good for him for doing that. But he starts off in music as a rapper with cornrows in his hair. That's where he starts. And that never works out well for any white dude that's name isn't Eminem. Okay. It just doesn't. They never ever go on to evolve or grow in that. It always fizzles out because it's not real and it's not authentic. And so Jelly Roll decides, well, you know what? I'll just go to country music and I'll get an office there and I'll just infiltrate country music and I'll funk country music. And, there's a reason why that he would think that. Ever since
he's saying some deep points, man. I don't want to pause too much, but is there white rappers that will go into like the hip hop culture, like as in pure, like strictly you in the hip hop side, right? You just rapping, dressing like you one of the rappers back in the day. Is there anyone who did it and was successful for long term outside of Eminem? Maybe. What about dude from Third Base? Maybe, because he had a long career, including production too as well. But then maybe definitely not as long as Eminem. I do remember when what's the name of this singer? He came into the hip hop joint for damn near one song, maybe 2 or 3 songs. Is it Post Malone? I was like, what happened? I was rocking with Post Malone too. I didn't. He made a hard switch, super hard. But yeah, I don't think there's any really. But I don't think that's the case. I'm sure you could, if it was real, if it was genuine, if you were being yourself and not playing a character. Why not? I think you could do whatever style of music you could do. Like within the next year or so, I'm going to build a studio and then start focusing on my music more. And if you guys heard my music, I don't look like I'm an R&B singer or a pop singer, but I am. I hit a note, right? And it is genuine because I listened to a lot of music growing up that I really rocked with. Shoot, if you hear some of my R&B songs, I'm sampling like hooks from the 90s. I redid the song Kiss Me by, is it Sixpence None the Richer? I redid that song, remixed the verses because I had genuine love for that record. But there's a lot of people that's frauding and they're pretending and using certain genres and cultures in order to move to another level. I would say like a big person saying that Lil Nas X did that with country. Lil Nas X threw on a fake country accent, sung a damn spoof meme song, and was trying to get country awards when this nigga was pretending. It was like a costume. Do he do music like that now? There's a lot of people that's like that. So my bad. I had to pause and speak on that because I've definitely noticed that a lot. Still, I really did notice that.
It's 9/11. Country music took an even more drastic shift to the right. I'm not saying that country music was ever liberal or progressive necessarily. However, back in the day, a lot of the outlaw country.
You said you want to hear the remix? I'll play it. I'll play it if y'all want to hear it.
That people listened to back then, they saw the beards and the long hair and the leather on the Telecasters and stuff like that, and they thought, oh, this is outlaw, this is rebellious. But a lot of those guys, had a lot of progressive viewpoints, and if they came out today with some of the albums they made, if Johnny Cash came out with The Trail of Tears, if Chris Christopherson had came out with some of the songs that he came out with back in the day, people would have been calling them woke.
There's a few Johnny Cash records
and people were back then. There were hardcore conservatives who didn't like the things Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson were saying. Groups like the Flying Burrito Brothers with Graham Parson and Chris Hillman, groups like that were frowned upon for being too progressive. So country music, I'm not saying was ever a progressive genre, but after 9/11, it got even more hard in the paint right wing. And you started seeing people like Toby Keith come out singing his songs about, going to war and putting a boot up their ass and all that ridiculous bullshit that he sang. And then it just became like, hey, let's sell Ford trucks, let's sell Doritos, let's sell boats during the summertime. You can literally, if you listen to mainstream country radio, you can know if you hadn't been outside all year long, you would know what it was doing outside based on what country radio does, because it's like, I'm going to buy me a boat this time, and then we're going to head down to the bar in a few months, and then we're going to buy a truck, and then, oh yeah, we're going to go to war, and then, oh yeah, we're going to take our country back. And hell, now they've went so far as they just want to drink their beer and, catch their fish and pet their dog and all this stupid bullshit. It just became a genre where people who couldn't make it in other genres decided to go. That's really what country music sadly became, the mainstream country music genre. It became a place where rappers and rockers and people who could not succeed in that world could come over and sing a bastardized version of what they were doing with a country accent, and then lean into country stereotypes. Which is disgusting, but yes, that's the thing. What was that mean rapper? What was his name? Young Gravy. Didn't he just put out a country album out of nowhere? That's crazy. It's really foul to someone who's like really into the country music scene. Like I said, I have a few that I rock with. I rock with Johnny Cash. I rock with Dolly Parton, but I wouldn't say I'm like a country expert. For people that's like really been in the field and the streets, bumping country their whole life, like only on country stations, this has to be the most infuriating, frustrating, just nasty thing to see. And I definitely feel the frustration for you. In any other genre that I personally like, where I could say I'm an expert in, like hip hop, when I see someone faking the funk, 100%, yeah, it's nasty. You spoofing. You making a mockery of it now. And country caricatures and make a profit off of it. And that's what offends me so much about someone saying, I'm going to infiltrate. Make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'm going to fuck it. What they're saying is, I can't make it over here as this rapper because that's not authentic. It's not really who I am. And everybody can see through it. So I'll go over here and I will sing everything with a little bit more of a country accent. And I will lean into the country cliches. And then I will play the ultimate country music grift, and the ultimate grift that everyone does. Once I've milked that for as much as I can get out of it, then I will turn to Jesus, because everyone loves when someone does that. I was a broken man and now I found Jesus, and now Jesus is the most powerful thing in the world. And that's what we're seeing someone like a Jelly Roll do. So today I would like to talk to you about Policy Genius, because I understand that sometimes having the conversation. Shouts to him for getting a sponsorship. I'm not mad at it, but we're going to skip that part.
Were you recently injured in a car accident? Look at
these AI ads. No. I seen one that was like, did someone like harm you when you was in a group home or what they used to call it, juvie or something? I was like, what kind of commercials? These AI joints is getting out of hand. They're doing a little too much. And took his moment to thank Jesus Christ. If you remember, those of you that saw the video of me talk about that, I didn't knock him for that. I didn't say, hey, I did not knock him for doing that. What I said was, I couldn't have personally done that, because I couldn't have quoted Jesus and thanked him for helping me lose weight or helping me find my car keys. I would have had to have said, Jesus is against injustice. I would have had to point it out that Jesus said, if anyone hurts the little children, it'd be better that a millstone be tied around their neck and them cast to the bottom of the sea than to stand before me in the day of judgment. That's all I said. And then I saw the clip of Jelly Roll after that being asked, he's being asked, what do you think about the people who did use this moment to talk about politics, and what do you think about the current? Same, Chris. I think I'm on the wrong channel. State of politics in America. And then he did the old classic, well, I'm just a dumb redneck. I don't even have a phone. I don't even watch it. I don't even know what's going on in this world. But you'll know real soon. You'll know what I'm about. I'll let everybody know loud and clear. Which made no sense to me. And actually, I have less respect for that than the people that just goes ahead and goes hard in the paint with it. Anytime I see somebody come out and take a stand and then start dialing it back and walking it back, I'm never impressed by that, and I just think that's absolutely ballless. Whatever you say in this world, just lean into it and own it. Just be yourself. Even if you disagree with me, even if you're not on the same political side, I would have much more respect for. Same. I don't have a political side at all. I'm not on the left. I'm not on the right. I'm not conservative. I'm not like one of these extreme liberals. I just do me. I don't vote because I don't believe in the system. I think it's rigged from the beginning, but that's just my personal opinion. You telling me to pick my poison? That's crazy. What? Like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. And there's so many people that's, well, you're wrong for not voting. Whatever. Have your opinion. I'm gonna have mine. You're allowed to disagree with me. But I just don't trust Big Brother. I can't. And I ain't picking my poison of voting between two presidents when I might not agree with neither one of them. To be honest, they're really just a mascot that get people to treat the world like it's a football team so we don't pay attention to what they're really doing. But I digress. People don't want to talk about that. That's a little too real.
Somebody said, hey, this is what I think. If he'd have just went ahead and said, you know what, fuck Bad Bunny for saying that. He shouldn't have used that moment. Fuck him. Okay, fine. We can disagree with that all day. But to sit back and try to play, I'm just a dumb redneck. I don't even have a phone. What that was screaming is, I've got to keep this grift going. And my audience is mostly made up of MAGA people. My audience is mostly made up of conservatives. And in the country music vein that I came here to infiltrate and fuck, I can't really speak ill against Donald Trump or anything to do with the conservative establishment. I can't really say fuck ice out loud or anything like that. So I'll just say I'm a dumb redneck and I don't even have a phone. But this is a guy that's on WWE, and this is a guy that, you know, is in the mainstream of everything, and he doesn't have a phone. He doesn't keep up with anything, and he can't comment on Americans being murdered in the street because he's afraid if he does, that might piss off his base.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about the corruption in the members live. I'm not sure we could do that without getting in trouble. I would be willing to have a convo via Discord, like we all just get on the voice chat and talk about it. I want to start doing some more Discord calls in general. But if there's a way we can talk about that without getting in trouble, I would totally be down with that. Maybe we could do a members live stream. Make sure you guys sign up for members if you haven't. But I would be down with that if we can do it in a way where we don't say anything that can get this channel taken down. But I'm totally down with that. Yeah, hell yeah.
I want that base.
That's a great idea, Annie. That was a great idea.
You couldn't give me that base. If I'd have had a base like that, I would have absolutely pissed them off within 2 minutes. I look back at my life and the times that I was that close to having a record deal, and I go, you know what? If that had came through for me and I had made it, and then I got interviewed on a country music radio station and they asked me what I thought about the current state of politics, everybody would have been burning my albums in the street. So this is just another one of those classic MAGA grifts. And the only thing I will say is, for a while, I actually kind of believed him in a way. He seemed more genuine than, say, a Kid Rock. He seemed more genuine than like a Jason Aldean. I'm all for people who were once upon a time a scumbag turning their life around. I'm all for people getting better health-wise. I'm not a perfect person either. I'm far from it. I am no saint. Anyone that looks up to me as a hero, I'm not and never claimed to be.
I could definitely understand that. People can change and better themselves. It was just very recent that we was seeing stuff from Jelly Roll that was nasty. Right. That was close to his quote unquote change. Like, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. I said, I don't know. I've seen people do something on YouTube and not get in trouble. For some weird reason, they're real harsh on me. I talked about a boxing match and got in trouble. Think about that. And I'm not lying. That actually happened. So we talked about a hypothetical boxing match because I was saying, yo, I would love to get into YouTuber boxing, but they could never find me an opponent. I should stop repeating what I said, actually. And I didn't say nothing worse or crazy after that. I just was continuously, saying like, yo, I think it would be fun. You know what I mean? And variations of that. And I got in trouble. And so now I'm not going to say the rest of what I was saying, even though it wasn't crazy. It was just me talking about how fun I think it would be. So I'm kind of iffy. And it's just, I got in trouble for reacting to a damn video before, a music video, because it talked about politics. And they was like, nope. So yeah, it depends, man. I'm real iffy and hesitant now, which it sucks. But it seems like, I don't know, if they watching me or something, I don't think I'm big enough for them to have eye on. But the people that have watched me for years can tell you, they've come for me multiple times, bro. to where I got to be very protective over what's said and yada yada.
But I also never went out there and tried to grift off of religion. I never tried to grift off of a genre, and I never said I'm going to go into that genre because I can't make it over here, so I'm going to go into this genre and I'm just going to fuck it right straight in its ass and take over it and infiltrate it because at least I can do it there. That's what I find offensive about Jelly Roll and this idea of, well, I'm just a dumb redneck. I hate when people tries to play it off that way. Just be who you are, lean into it, own it. Don't try to play it off like that. Well, I'm just, trying to play both sides. I've seen so many people come out, I normally don't talk politics, but, and then the minute they start getting backlash, oh, sorry guys, my bad, didn't mean to offend you all. I'm just a dumb redneck. What do I know? I didn't
so
do
crazy.
that. When I started speaking out, I lost every gig I ever had. I never one time went back to those people and said, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Let me see. Facts, Chris. Demonetized you a few times. Oh my gosh, that was like the dark years. I remember that. They was hitting me. Every channel was getting demonetized back to back to back. I'll never forget. And guess what I do? I kept putting out content. I kept live streaming. No one could ever say I'm not in it for the love of it. I was demonetized on every channel. Remember, I got like 30 channels, bro. All of them was getting hit. And I just kept the content flowing. Kept it going until I was able to, get my monetization back. And yeah, one time we reacted to a court show in fair use. They took it down. Chris, you remember when we was reacting to that Patrice O'Neal clip? And they took us down when we was, I think Patrice was talking to Roseanne. I was like, yeah, I remember this. And we was watching it, took the stream down. And it was fair use as fuck, bro. Like, crazy. Yeah, they a little too strict over here.
Didn't mean to piss you off. No, I just took it on the chin and kept rolling. That's what you do when you stand up for what you believe, if you actually believe in it. That's but right. If you're a grifter and a con man just trying to play the next big thing, you will change. You will go from having cornrows in your hair and rapping over to being country music, and then you'll go over here to being, shouting Jesus' name to the rooftop. It's the oldest grift in the book. It's always, let's start over here. Let's not succeed. We'll go into the country music genre because they'll let anybody in here. So let's just go in here. Let's infiltrate it. Let's fuck it. Let's bastardize it. Then when we get done doing that, let's just say we found Jesus. And everybody will give us a pass for it. But not people like us. Because, to me, we've been having the conversation for years about what's real country and what isn't. That conversation, by the way, has been happening ever since Hank Williams Sr. was around and he had drums in his band. There was people saying, that ain't country. So that conversation has always been had. Where the conversation lies today is the people that uses country music, that genre, that banner, that establishment, the ones that use that to their advantage. And there's nothing really country about them other than there's an opportunity there for them to make money. There's an opportunity there for them to take their failed act into that. And that, to me, is what bastardizes.
There's a lot of those, bro. It's crazy. That happens so often.
Doesn't ruin country music more than anything else. You can debate all day long. There was people back in the day. My grandfathers thought Waylon Jennings was rock and roll. There's always been that argument of, well, they're too rock and roll, or they're too pop, or they're too whatever. That conversation has always been had. To me, the biggest bastardization of country music and the biggest fuck you to country music was the people who failed at every other genre that was allowed to come in and then sing watered down versions of country music and call it country music. To me, that's the biggest travesty of all of this. But am I shocked to hear him say those things? No, not at all. Because country music just became a place for people that couldn't make it anywhere else to show off and pump out watered down bullshit. And so there's a lot of good, authentic country flavored music being made out there. You just have to dig a little bit for it. You're not.
Nah, he's super on point. And this is just, how should I say this? This isn't just for country music. This is for every genre this is going on. But the exact things he's saying is fitting perfectly. Like, people are putting costumes on and pretending to be something. This happens even on YouTube. YouTubers will put a costume on and pretend to be something. Streamers. And then when they get tired of it, maybe the mask will slip. If you ever watch Ninja do a stream, like, look up Ninja switching through the years. You'll see You're dead ass. That's just one example of someone that will put a mask on, act like Barney for like 5 years, and then after that, it's like, whatever. Got my money. I don't gotta do that act no more. There's a plethora of people that's on that type of time where they will front just to get a come up and get noticed. But especially within the country music genre, it's happening a lot. A whole lot.
I'm going to hear it on the mainstream radio, and you're probably not going to see a lot of those artists up at, award shows and shit like that. But if you dig in, there's probably a really good country band right down the road from you playing authentic country music and doing it because they love it and doing it whether they make it or not. And what's sad to me is there's people who will drive past a really good country band in a dive bar somewhere. They'll drive past them to go watch a grifter like Jelly Roll or go watch a grifter like Kid Rock. And fuck those people. You gotta search, man. You gotta look for the up and coming or just people that's doing the independent thing. That's what I do for every genre. Out on some really good music while you sit and kiss the ass of people who licked boots.
But now, what he was saying was some realness. He was cooking. I'm not going to front that. He was on point. It was extremely accurate. Jelly Roll is a fraud. That's just my personal opinion. But I've been saying that for years. It's documented, bro. I've been saying that for a few people. Jelly Roll, Jam Wayne. We need to get more eyes on that too. That's straight faking. Adam Calhoun. Adam is from wherever he think is popping at the time. I'm from the hood. No, I'm from the country. No, I'm from this place. I'm from Chicago. I was nigga pick. Which one? Using projects, using the country. But there's a lot of these people that do that. Jelly Roll happens to be one of the biggest ones right now. But tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Hit that hype button too as well. Say Jan Wayne's music is cringe in my opinion. That's a fact.